Hello, good afternoon. Today is the second session of the hydraulic systems. Yesterday, I explained the basic components of hydraulic system, classification of pumps, and some of the rotary pumps like gear pump, low pump, and vane pump. The hydraulic systems, the basic components functions are: there is a storage tank or reservoir through which there is a storage tank. The basic components of hydraulic systems are shown in figure. The main component is the storage tank or reservoir through which oil can be supplied to run the actuator. And then filter is required to remove the sediments in the fluid. After filtering, fluid goes to the pump. Pump increases the pressure of a fluid which is required, whose pressure is required to run the actuator. To run the pump, there is a prime mover. Usually, an induction motor is used to run the pump. After increasing the pressure by the pump, fluid goes to a pressure regulator. Its main function is to regulate the pressure of fluid, which is to be supplied to the actuator, to run the actuator. Because in pressure regulator, whenever pressure of a fluid is too high, it may damage the various components of hydraulic system. That's why pressure regulator regulates or controls the pressure of fluid. After regulating the pressure, fluid goes to the direction control valve, DC valve. DC valve is having number of ports. Here, P is nothing but pump port, T is the tank port, A and B are two ports connected to the ends of actuator. They are called working ports. In the case of direction control valve, whenever the controlling element is activated, like a push button or hand lever, P communicates with A in one position. That is, fluid enters one end of a cylinder and the piston moves downwards. In the same stroke, the fluid present in the bottom end of a cylinder return into the reservoir from B to T. Communication is done from B to T in the same stroke. Whenever P communicates with A, in the same stroke, B communicates with T. If suppose fluid has to enter at the other end of a cylinder, then the controlling element is activated, which communicates P to B. Fluid enters from P to B and it enters the lower end of a cylinder, which makes the piston to move in upward direction. In the same stroke, the fluid present at the other end of a piston is returned back to the reservoir from A to T. So, in the second position, P communicates with B and A communicates with T. Like this, the direction control valve is used to change the direction of flow of fluid into the actuator. Again, the different types of actuators are there, like linear actuators and rotary actuators. Linear actuator, example, a cylinder, hydraulic cylinder. Hydraulic cylinder, at the end of piston rod, there is a load, and load can be moved in horizontal direction or vertical direction, depends upon the position of a cylinder. This cylinder is a linear actuator. The two ports are connected to the DC valve. I already explained the meaning of DC valve. So, This is called linear actuator. The final element of any hydraulic system is actuator. In some hydraulic systems, there is a necessity of rotating the actuator, like hydraulic motor. To convert hydraulic energy into rotary movement and the final element actuator is called this is called the hydraulic motor. Depending upon the direction of rotation of the hydraulic motor, they are classified into unidirectional and bidirectional hydraulic motors. In unidirectional motor rotates only in one direction, and in bidirectional motor can be rotated in both directions. In both directions. This is about some of the basic components of hydraulic system. Now, the different types of pump. What is the main component of any hydraulic system? They are broadly classified into hydrostatic and hydrodynamic pump. Hydrostatic pumps or positive displacement pump are again classified into rotary and reciprocating. Rotary pumps, example, and main pump. Depending upon the construction of classified into gear pump and main pump. In the case of gear pump, it is a rotary positive displacement pump. In the case of gear pump, use the machine and de-machine of in the case of gear pumps, two gears are meshed together. It is a consists of driving gear and driven gear. A gear pump uses the machine and de-machine of gears to pump fluid by displacement. They are one of the most common types of for hydraulic fluid power applications. There are two types of gear pumps: external gear pump and internal gear pump. Depending upon the construction, they are classified into external and internal gear pumps. In the case of external gear pump, the gears are rotating externally. That is, the meshing of driving gear with the driven gear is used to increase the pressure of a fluid. In the case of internal gear pump, driving gear rotates inside the driven gear. The figure shows a schematic diagram of external gear pump. It uses two identical gears. Identical gears is nothing but if driving gear is a spur gear, driven gear must also be a spur gear. If suppose a driving gear is a helical gear, driven gear is also helical gear. There must be two identical gears which are rotating against each other. One gear is driven by a prime mover, that is motor, and it in turn drives the other gear. Each gear is supported by a shaft with bearings on both sides of the gear. In this case, only driving gear is rotating by means of a prime mover. That is, motor by means of motor shaft, driving gear is rotating, and due to the meshing of teeth of driving gear, driven gear rotates in opposite direction. As the gears come out of mesh, they create expanding volume on the inlet side of the pump. Liquid flows into the cavity and is trapped by the gear teeth as they rotate. Now, its construction is like this. The driving gear is having number of teeth on its periphery, and driven gear is also having number of teeth on its periphery. The number of teeth on both the gears must be equal, and there is no spacing between the teeth and the casing. As the gears rotate, driving gear is rotating in the clockwise direction, and driven gear rotates in anti-clockwise direction. Vacuum is created at the inlet. The vacuum pressure is less than atmospheric. Due to pressure difference, it draws fluid into the inlet, and the fluid is trapped between the teeth of driving and driven gears as they rotate. And the pressure of a fluid is gradually increasing from inlet to the outlet, and at the outlet, fluid is discharged at high pressure. This is a basic principle of working of any gear pump. And another type of the second type of positive displacement pump, low pump. Its operation is quite different from a gear pump. It consists of two lobes, and the lobes are rotating separately by two prime movers. Actually, they are not in contact. No meshing of lobes as shown in figure. The lobe pumps are similar to external gear pumps in operation, in that fluid flows around the interior of casing. Unlike external gear pumps, however, the lobes do not make contact. This is very important. There is no direct contact of lobes. Lobe contact is prevented by external timing gears located in the gearbox, because fluid should not enter the middle of lobes. The pressure has to be increased at the ends of lobes and casing. In between the lobes and casing, pressure is to be increased, and in the middle, the fluid should not enter. That's why the correct timing must be there. Another type of positive displacement pump, vane pump. The figure shows a rotor which is having number of radial slots. Inside the radial slots, the number of vanes are fitted by means of helical springs, and this rotor along with the vanes is rotating inside the cam ring. Cam ring is placed inside the casing as shown in figure. The figure clearly shows the construction of a rotor, a cam ring and casing. Whenever the rotor is rotating, fluid enters at the inlet. Between the rotor and casing, the volume goes on increasing for half rotation, and again for another half rotation, volume is gradually decreasing. It's nothing but for half rotation of the rotor, the pressure is gradually decreases and volume increases. Whereas for another half rotation, volume is gradually decreasing between the rotor and casing, and pressure gradually increases. So at the outlet of casing, pressure is very high. This is about the construction and working of vane pump. Now, different types of control valves. Different types of control valves used in hydraulic system. In the last session, I told you the meaning of different control valves. They are needed to regulate the pressure. To regulate the pressure, some of the valves are used like pressure relief valve or pressure reducing valve or pilot operated pressure relief valve. Three types of valves are used to regulate the pressure in the hydraulic system. What is the necessity of controlling the or regulating the pressure in the hydraulic system? We know that the final element of a hydraulic system is the actuator, and actuator the load is connected. Load is connected to the end of piston rod in the actuator. To move the load, some pressure is required for the movement of piston. Whenever load is high, high pressure is required, and if load is less pressure is required. So whenever load is decreased and pressure is high, it may damage the various components of hydraulic system. That's why the pressure is to be decreased. To safeguard the components of hydraulic system, it must be controlled. Pressure must be controlled. It is done by pressure relief valve. Pressure relief valve is mainly used. It depends upon the load conditions on actuator. Another type of control valve to regulate or to control flow rate. The quantity of fluid which enters the actuator, it is a function of flow control valve. It also depends upon the speed at which load is moving. In the actuator, whenever load is moving, load has to move at a high speed, then flow rate must be high. If speed is less, then the flow rate must be decreased. This is done by flow control valve. Another type of control valves used in hydraulic system to direct the fluid into actuator. For changing the direction of flow of fluid into actuator, there is a DC valve, direction control valve, which is controlled by some of the controlling elements like push button or lever operated or solenoid operated. By means of DC valve, the direction of flow of fluid into the actuator can be changed. So these are three types of control valves used in any hydraulic system. The figure shows functions of different types of control valves. In the case of direction control valve, control the direction of a flow of hydraulic fluid to different lines in the circuit. The figure shows 4 ports. This is the DC valve, which is having 4 ports. Port P is nothing but a pump port, which is connected to the pump. Port T is connected to tank port, which is again connected to the reservoir. And A and B are working ports, which are connected to the 2 ends of actuator. Total, there are 4 ports, the symbolic representation of a DC valve. Symbolic representation of in the first position, This is the DC valve. Pump port is connected to port A and B connected to communicates with a tank port. In the first portion of DC valve, pump is connected to the port A of a cylinder and B connected to the tank port. So this is the pump, and again from tank port fluid flows back to the reservoir. This is the first portion. In the second portion, whenever the spool is changed, the direction of flow of oil is reversed, which communicates from the pump, fluid goes to port B and A communicates with B. So direction of flow of fluid is reversed because piston load has to move in both the directions in actuator. That's why the direction of flow of fluid is reversed now. This is a symbol of representing a DC valve. This is a type of 4x2 DC valve because it is having 4 ports and 2 positions. The second type of control valve, flow control valve, which regulates the rate of flow or quantity of fluid which enters the actuator can be controlled by flow control valve. This is a symbol for representing a flow control valve, which regulates the rate of flow. And an inlet of flow control valve is connected to the pump, and the outlet of flow control valve is connected to actuator. And also, I already explained the function of a flow control valve. It depends upon the flow rate, depending upon the speed at which load has to move. And another type of control valve, pressure control valve, it is also used to regulate the pressure of fluid in the system. Now, in the case of pressure control valve, what is the necessity of pressure control valve? In order to avoid hydraulic system damage, to avoid the damage of so many components are in a hydraulic system, to avoid the damage and to reduce the power in the circuit and to avoid the overheating of hydraulic fluid, circuit designers use a variety of cleverly designed systems to control the maximum system pressure and pump flow during non-action periods. Because of all these factors, the pressure control valves are connected in the hydraulic circuit. Pressure control valves are used in a hydraulic system to control actuator force. There is a relation between force and pressure. Force is equal to pressure into area, or the force acting on the piston, on the end of piston, the force is acting, and the force acting on the piston depends upon pressure of fluid which is entering the cylinder. That's why, according to this equation, the force and pressure are directly proportional. Based on this principle, pressure control valves are used. Various types of pressure control valves: pressure relief valve, pressure reducing valve, pressure sequence valve, and one more valve is there, pilot operated pressure relief valve. you have 4 types of valves in your syllabus: pressure relief valve, pressure reducing valve, pilot operated DC valve, pilot operated pressure relief valve, and sequence valve. Now, first type of pressure control valve is pressure relief valve. It consists of a poppet which can be used to open and close the port. The port shown at the beginning is a pump port which is connected to the pump of hydraulic system, and there is a tank port. After the poppet, there is a tank port. Tank port is connected to the reservoir. It's not connection is not shown in figure, but connection is made to the reservoir. The poppet can be moved by means of helical spring. A spring is the spring pressure, a spring force can be adjusted by the adjustment screw. Now, in the figure, by means of pump, fluid is flowing through the system to run the actuator. Now, this is the path of fluid. In the path of fluid, pressure relief valve is mounted. Whenever pressure is less than system pressure or fluid pressure is less than the spring force, then the poppet closes the pump port. No need of opening the port, because the pressure is within the set value. That's why no need of opening the poppet. That's why it is closed. Pump port is closed. Suppose the fluid pressure exceeds the limit, then helical spring is compressed, which and a poppet is opened, slightly opened. When poppet is opened, fluid enters from the line, actual line, to the tank port. Through the tank port, oil flows back to the reservoir. Now, this is continued until the pressure of a fluid and the spring force are equal. When these two are equal, automatically, by means of helical spring, the poppet closes the pump port. As usual, pump is supplying a high pressure fluid, and this is a connection given to the DC valve and actuator. In between this, there is a pressure relief valve. This is PRV, pressure relief valve, and this may be a pump port P, and there is a poppet. Here, poppet is there. At the bottom of pressure relief valve, there is a tank port. From the tank port, connection is given to the reservoir. Whenever the fluid pressure, suppose for example, pressure required is 200 bar. 200 bar is required. It is a maximum pressure. Actuator requires a maximum of 200 bar. Whenever the pressure exceeds 200 bar, then the fluid pressure is greater than system spring force. I already explained the relation between force and pressure. Force is directly proportional to pressure. Suppose the fluid pressure becomes 210 bar. Now it is greater than the spring force. Automatically, the fluid pushes the poppet. When poppet is pushed, some quantity of fluid which enters the tank port and returns back to the reservoir. Thereby, it regulates the pressure of fluid in the line. As soon as the pressure reaches 200 bar, automatically poppet is closed by means of spring. To set the spring force, there is an adjustment screw. By operating the screw, the force can be adjusted. That is, to increase or decrease the actuator pressure, spring force should also be increased. It is done by adjusting screw. Pressure relief valve is for limiting the pressure in a hydraulic system or in a part of system. The pressure can rise in hydraulic system if flow rate from the pump is larger than flow rate through the actuator. There must be a synchronization. The flow rate through the pump and flow rate through the actuator must be equal. Otherwise, the pressure may vary. Volume of a closed system is reduced. Because of reduce in volume, pressure may rise. And also a very important point is the load of actuator rises. Whenever load on the actuator rises, high pressure is required. And in some cases, heat may be produced in the closed system. In that case, whenever heat is produced, pressure must be decreased. Due to the hydraulic resistance of system, due to hydraulic resistance, some of the components of the hydraulic circuit, they may resist the flow and pressure automatically rises. To regulate, to control all these parameters, pressure relief valve is required. Second type of pressure control valve, compound pressure relief valve. It can also be called as pilot operated pressure relief valve. There is a pilot line in the relief valve. The only difference is pressure relief valve, the first type of consists of first type is not having a pilot line, but compound pressure relief valve is having another line, pilot line. As usual, the pump port is connected to the line to run the actuator. This is the connection and pump port, and there is a piston. Piston is having a small hole orifice, and from the top of piston, the connection is given to the poppet. That is through a pilot line, and pilot closes the port by a spring force. The spring force can be adjusted by means of adjusting screw. Whenever the fluid pressure is less than the maximum value, then as usual, fluid enters the orifice and the top of cylinder, and also it goes to the up to poppet. But the pressure of fluid on the top and bottom sides of piston are equal. That's why whenever these two are balanced, at the top of piston and the bottom of piston, the pressures are equal. They are balanced, and because of this balancing, the poppet is closed, and as usual, the fluid is passing to the actuator as usual. And in this position, the tank port is automatically closed by means of stem. By means of this stem, tank port is automatically closed, because at both ends of a piston, the pressure of a fluid is equal. There is a balancing. But if suppose the pressure of a fluid which is passing to the actuator is increased, then what happens is, through the orifice, fluid enters the pilot line, and the pressure in the pilot line becomes greater than the spring force, and automatically the poppet is opened. Whenever poppet is opened, some fluid enters the tank port, and some fluid flows back to the reservoir. When this happens, the pressure of fluid at the top of piston becomes less than the bottom end. Two sides of a piston should have the same pressure. Balancing must be there. But in this case, at the top of piston, pressure becomes less than the bottom end. Because of this difference, the piston moves in upward direction, which opens the tank port. Whenever tank port is opened, some fluid flows back to the reservoir through tank port. Thereby, the pressure of fluid is reduced, and it happens until the spring force is equal to the pressure of fluid. When these two are equal, automatically poppet is closed by the spring. Like this, pressure relief valve regulates the pressure of fluid in the system. The pilot operated pressure relief valve has a pressure port that is connected to the pump. Pressure relief valve, this device is connected to the common line. Here assume that there is a pipeline through which fluid is flowing. Pressure can rise in the hydraulic system. Operated pressure relief valve has a pressure port is connected to the pump line and the tank port connected to reservoir. The pilot relief valve is a poppet type. The main relief valve consists of a piston and a stem. Because the stem and piston, by this arrangement, tank port is initially closed because of pressure, because of low pressure, the piston and stem automatically closes the tank port. The main relief piston has an orifice drilled through it. There is a small hole made in the piston. Orifice is made. The piston has equal areas exposed to pressure on top and bottom, and it is in balanced condition due to equal force acting on both the sides. It is a piston at the top and bottom ends of piston. Since pressure is equal, it is in balanced condition, and tank port is automatically closed by the stem and piston. It remains stationary in the closed position because pressure is within the limits. That's why tank port is closed. The piston has a light bias spring to ensure that it stays closed because spring force is adjusted to the required pressure. Spring force is adjusted. That's why poppet is closing the pump port. When the pressure is less than that of relief valve setting, the pump flow goes to the system. Because pressure is within the limits, then as usual, tank port is closed, and as usual, the fluid is flowing through the system. If the pressure in the system becomes high enough, it's more than the limiting value, it moves the pilot poppet off its seat, because whenever pressure is greater than the maximum limit, automatically poppet is moved rightwards because the spring force is less than the pressure of fluid. That's why poppet is moving. When poppet is moved, then valve is port is automatically opened. If the pressure in the system becomes high enough, it moves the pilot poppet off its seat. A small amount of flow begins to go through the pilot line back to the tank. Because of opening of poppet, fluid flows back to the reservoir. When fluid flows back to the reservoir, there is a unbalancing on the top and bottom of piston. If the pressure in the system becomes high enough, it moves the pilot poppet off its seat. A small amount of flow begins to go through the pilot line back to the tank. Once flow begins to the piston orifice and pilot line, a pressure drop is induced across the piston due to the restriction of the piston orifice. Because of imbalance at the two ends of piston, because of imbalance, this happens. This pressure drop then causes the piston and stem to lift off their seats. Initially, whenever pressure is low, the tank port is closed by the piston and stem arrangement. But because of unbalancing, tank port is automatically opened by means of piston and stem. and the flow goes directly from pressure port to the tank. Some quantity of fluid from pressure port goes directly through the tank port and return back to the reservoir. That's how the pressure is controlled or decreased, and this happens until the pressure of fluid is equal to the spring force. When these two are equals, then again at both ends of piston there is a balancing, pressure is equal, and tank port is automatically closed. This is how the pressure relief valve works. Another type of pressure control valve is a pressure reducing valve. Pressure reducing valve is mainly based on the downstream pressure. It works on the principle of on the basis of downstream pressure. Pressure reducing valve is working. It has 3 ports. Main pressure line is connected to pressure line, that is a system, which is at one end it is having a pump, on another end of pipe there is an actuator. This is a common pressure line or pump port. Opposite ends of valve, outlet valve. To the outlet valve, this is a tank port. It is connected to the reservoir, and one more port, drain line is there. There is a spool in the relief valve. Initially, whenever the fluid pressure is low, then this is the position of spool. It is having 2 pistons, and there is a helical spring. The spring force can be adjusted by adjustable screw, and this is the arrangement of pressure reducing valve initially, whenever pressure of fluid is less. And the tank port is outlet port is automatically opened. Whenever the this port is connected to the line. Here there is a pump, and at another end actuator is there. Whenever at the outlet of relief valve, pressure becomes high, then downstream pressure increases. Because of increase in downstream pressure, through the pilot line, some quantity of fluid enters, which makes the piston movement in upward direction, and partially the port is closed. Whenever the port is closed partially, the quantity of fluid flowing through the outlet is decreased, thereby reducing the pressure. Whenever at the inlet and outlet, if both the pressure is equal, automatically it stops the movement of a spool in the pressure reducing valve. This type of valve is used to maintain reduced pressures in specified locations in hydraulic system. It is actuated by the downstream pressure, and the lid tends to close as this pressure reaches the valve setting. Valve setting is done by means of spring. A pressure reducing valve uses spring-loaded spool. There is a spool which can be moved inside the valve to control the downstream pressure. If downstream pressure is below the valve setting, the fluid flows freely from inlet to the outlet. That's what I'm telling. Whenever the downstream pressure is normal, whenever downstream pressure is low, it less than the maximum limit, then there is a free flow of a fluid from inlet to the outlet, because pressure is less than the maximum value. When the downstream pressure or outlet pressure increases to the valve setting, the spool moves to the right. In this figure, it moves to the in upward direction, not right. It moves to the right to partially block the outlet port. What is the necessity of blocking the outlet port? Because the rate of flow to the outlet port must be decreased. That's why it partially blocks the outlet port. Just enough flow is passed to the outlet to maintain its preset pressure level. If the valve closes completely, leakage past the spool causes downstream pressure to build up above the valve setting. And this is how the pressure reducing valve works. Based on this principle, another the control valve is there, sequence valve. In the sequence valve, instead of using the separate pressure relief valves for number of cylinders, the figure shows 3 cylinders A, B, and C, and they are separate actuators. Instead of we usually the separate relief valves are required for the working of cylinders A, B, and C. But by using sequence valve, the sequencing of actuators is done. Like, suppose this is a fluid supply line. There are two sequence valves, 1 and 2, cylinder A, B, and C. And from the fluid supply line, at the beginning, fluid enters the end of cylinder A, and pressure acts on the piston, and piston moves from left to right. Whenever this actuator is working, sequence valve 1 is closed by the setting of a screw. There is a screw in the sequence valve 1 which automatically closes until the maximum pressure is reached. Sequence valve closes, it prevents the flow of fluid from the supply line to the cylinder B whenever cylinder A is working. Since in the cylinder A, piston is moving, that means the load is moving, until it reaches the another end of cylinder, no entry of a fluid to the cylinder B, and this is done by a sequence valve. Sequence valve is having a valve setting, and if the work done by cylinder A is completed, then the pressure is in the supply line is increased, which opens the sequence valve 1 automatically. Then fluid enters the cylinder B, and in the cylinder B, the moving of load starts, and at the same time, sequence valve 2 is closed by the spring setting. Now, as cylinder B is working, load is moving in the cylinder B, second actuator, and in this case, sequence valve 2 is closed. As soon as the work of cylinder B is completed, whenever work is completed by cylinder B, then the pressure of supply line is increased, and automatically sequence valve 2 is opened and fluid enters cylinder C. Now, the moving of load starts in cylinder C. Like this, number of cylinders, number of actuators are connected in series, and all the cylinders are controlled sequentially one after the other by means of number of sequence valves. Sequence valve is a pressure control valve that is used to force two actuators, not only two, more than two actuators to operate in sequence, one after the other. After the completion of work in the first cylinder, work starts in second cylinder. After the completion in the second cylinder, work starts in third cylinder. Like this, sequentially, the working of cylinders is continued, and it is done by a pressure sequence valve. Sequence valve is a pressure relief valve, and a number of pressure relief valves are connected in between the two actuators. Instead of sending the flow back to the tank, a sequence valve allows the flow to a branch circuit when a preset pressure is reached. The meaning of this sentence is no need of connecting the pressure port and tank port to each actuator. And by using one pressure port, all the ports are running sequentially. The check valve allows the sequence valve to be bypassed in the reverse direction. The component enclosures line indicates that check valve is the integral part of component. The sequence valve has external drain line. Therefore, a line must be connected from sequence valve's drain port to the tank. The figure shows each actuator is having the input line as well as the drain line. All the drain lines are connected to the reservoir, whereas all the input lines are connected to the common fluid supply line, that is the pump. No need of connecting the input to the individual pump. By using a single pump, number of cylinders are working sequentially. It is the main function of sequence valve. And this is about pressure relief valves. And if you have any doubts, you can clarify. Mr. 15 minutes again.